studio. I know it's been a while, but you know, problems. My recording software stopped working, but I'm back with a hunter guide for patch 5.2. And yeah, this is what I found to be the most, this is what I found to be the best setup for hunter talents, and what spec I find best, and the priority for the stats and everything. Talents. Hunter talents do not change for any of the three specs. You want this setup all the way through. Level 15, I've gone for Crouching Tiger, Hidden Chimera. This you can switch in and out with post haste depending on what fight you're doing. But for what fight I was doing most recently, I wanted Crouching Tiger. Level 30, Silencing Shot, you never want to change this out, it's your interrupt. These two are crap. They did change that now neither of them have a focus cost, but they're still crap. Level 45, you can either have Spirit Bond or Aspect of the Iron Hawk. I've gone with Aspect of the Iron Hawk, I prefer it. Level 60, Dire Beast. Further is awful, don't ever go with Further. Thriller Hunt is half decent, but Dire Beast does damage while you regain focus, so it's a great cooldown, and it's only 30 seconds. Level 75, I used to be using Blink Strike, but since I've switched to a Murder of Crows, I've noticed my DPS goes up a lot, so yeah, I've gone with Murder of Crows. And then level 90, Glaive Toss. Barrage's AoE is no use on a single boss fight, and then Power Shot is clunky and awkward, so yeah, I'll go with Glaive Toss. It's fantastic damage, and it's every 15 seconds, and it's only 15 focus. Okay, so to begin with, stat breakdown for survival is you want to get your hit to cap, which is around 7.5, it's around that. Then you want to get your expertise to cap. Mine isn't quite to cap, but it's close enough. Nothing ever dodges me, so I'm fine. And then once you've got those two to cap, you want to be going haste in survival. You want haste and crit. I've never heard anyone going for crit in survival. I've always heard that it's haste, then mastery, and then crit is the last thing you want. However, I've expected to crit just because I was in a raid with a hunter that had worse gear than me, but was doing a lot more damage than I was. And well, I said a lot, it was between 5 to 8k more DPS than me, and he was in the same spec as me, but he was completely spec'd into crit. So I did that, and my DPS went up about 5k, so I really suggest going into crit. But once you've gone crit, you want to go into haste and then mastery. You want to reforge out of mastery as much as possible. I'm in 499 gear out of 501. I've got 2 pieces in my bag of 502 gear, but I don't want to equip those just because I would lose my tier bonus. Hey guys, so your glyphs. For BM, you want Glyph of Endless Wrath, Glyph of Animal Bond, Glyph of Deterrence, Glyph of Aspect, Glyph of Revive Pet, Glyph of Tame Beast. Your mining glyphs aren't important. Glyph of Bestial Wrath, Glyph of Endless Wrath, sorry, isn't very good. It's not brilliant, I don't like it really, but hey ho. Deterrence is just an increased damage reduction which will save you when you're raiding, and Glyph of Animal Bond, take it, your healers will love you. Then survival, it's exactly the same, except for instead of Endless Wrath you go Liberation, and it's the same for marksmanship. Rotation for survival is you want to start off the fight with Serpent Sting, Explosive Shot, Black Arrow, Dire Beast, Glaive Toss, and then a Cobra Shot, Explosive Shot, and then once you get enough focus, do Murder of Crows. For this DPS test, I will not be using Stampede, Rapid Fire, or Readiness, just because I want to show you what your overall sustainable DPS is. Bear in mind that the damage will fluctuate severely between each DPS test, just because with each test you can get different procs, you can get different things happening, different trinket procs, you know, all sorts of things can change your DPS, so don't take the damage output on these fights as anything, because across a 10-minute fight your damage would level out quite nicely. So yeah, so I'll just show you the basic damage that you'll be doing as a survival hunter. So you've got Black Arrow, Explosive Shot, Serpent Sting, Glaive Toss, Dire Beast, Cobra Shot, the lock and load proc, lovely, and do 2, 3, 1 Cobra Shot, and then there's your Murder of Crows. I'm not doing fantastic damage. I haven't had any good trinket procs yet. There we go. I've got both my trinket procs on at the moment, so my damage should hit the roof. Plus I've got a lock and reload proc, and I've got all my stuff coming off cooldown. There you go, 72k. I got very lucky with trinket procs, and I also had my my scope on my weapon proc as well, which was fantastic. So as you saw, I went from like 57k up to 70k. So that's the sort of fluctuation you can expect from good trinket procs. So yeah, hovering around 70k, which is about that's quite realistic. However, in Raid Finder, with your flasks, your food buff, your buffs from every individual player in the raid group, you can expect to be doing around 80k with this sort of gear and this rotation on single target fights. However, everyone loves survival for the AoE damage, which is fantastic. And yeah, survival AoE is just so much fun. Just spam multi-shot and see huge numbers. But yeah, this is the rotations for mastery. Oh yeah, we're in beast mastery now. Your priority is your Bestial Wrath is your main ability. That's your 1 minute cooldown, and that's your main damage output when you're spamming Kill Command, Arcane Shot, and all of these abilities on cooldown. So essentially, you want to be hitting Bestial Wrath, Kill Command on cooldown, spam an Arcane Shot for your focus dump, Glaive Toss, Die Beast, and Blink Strike on cooldown. And because BM is such a pet-minded pet-minded specialization, I've gone all out pet talents because you're so reliant on your pet anyway. It's no downside. So I've gone Spirit Beast, Spirit Bond, and Blink Strike because your pet does loads of damage in BM anyway. So I went for that. Okay, so your stat priority for Beast Mastery is once again hit to cap, expertise to cap. That will never change. Then you want to go all out mastery in BM. That's your thing. Just go mastery, 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 mastery. Just because it's so much better for BM. So my damage won't be as good now as it would be if I reforged out of all haste and crit and went straight BM. Okay, so the rotation goes Bestial Wrath, do, and spam. And spam. And spam. And spam. And 4. Yeah, and then this is essentially just BM. You just spam, and you'll hover around 70k. Again, it's not that big a difference between the classes. Obviously, my stat priority in my current gear is not helping the damage, but 60k is not bad. I've not had any good trinket procs yet. I've not had my gun. I've not had my scope proc yet. But yeah, it's pretty good damage. I'm happy with it, especially considering the stat priority that I've got at the moment. And just get the focus back up, and then you want to go Arcane Shot, spam, and Blink Strike. And yeah, that's BM for you. Damage isn't fantastic, but I haven't had very good trinket procs, and BM is more burst damage than anything. However, according to Icy Veins and Noxic, BM is the best hunted talent tree by far, but I don't believe them. I will dance because I'm going to let pet. It's just the same as survival. And your marksmanship rotation revolves around aim shot, chimera shot. Arcane Shot is quite rare to use because you're usually using aim shot. Glaive Toss, Die Beast, and a Murder of Crows. I must warn you, however, this damage will be very warped because of when you hit an enemy with Arcane Shot and he's above 80% health, it deals ridiculous damage. So yeah, that'll be why the damage in Marks is better than the damage in each other spec. Your stat priority for Marks is once again hit to cap, expertise to cap. Then you want to go haste. You want to go haste above haste above crit, just because you crit a lot in marks anyway. And I think that's basically it. Okay, so getting into stat priority, we want to begin with precasting an aim shot, then a chimera shot, then a dive beast, then that, then 2 steady shots, and pew, 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 pew. Then keep your steady shot buff up, keep your steady focus buff up, and boom, there it is. Crit City! And yeah, this is essentially just the rotation. Boom. Boom. Oh, 105k crits. Now give me some trinket procs. Give me some trinket procs. Give me some trinket procs. It keeps giving me, there's 1 trinket proc. It keeps giving me my my scope proc, but that's it. Boom, 124k crit. If you like big numbers, play marks. It's a lot of fun. I enjoy it because it's more to it than the other specs. But yeah, it was dead at the start of the expansion. However, now I think it's incredibly viable. It's good damage if you can play it properly. It's really good damage. It's just people usually miss out on the timings of aim shot and stuff, just because it's such a high focus cost, and you have to keep your double steady shot up. So you have to, you know, manage your focus a lot more than you do in the other specs, and it's difficult, I'm not going to lie to you, especially when you've got, you know, shit hitting the fan left, right and centre. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I enjoy it. It's my favourite hunter spec. I just wish it did more damage. And so end that around 65k. Dismiss pet, damn it. Where is my pet? Here we go. So yeah guys, thanks for watching. This has been my hunter guide for patch 5.2. I'm Andrew from Studio, signing out. Bye.